It's so crazy to see what becomes controversy online, child. So, TikTok creator Jools Lebron. If you don't know who Jools Lebron is, I was like, if y'all don't know who Jools Lebron is, and I was like, then he must be under a rock, child. If you never heard that, very demure, very mindful.
Very demure, very mindful.
That's all. That's what she is well known for. That's how she blew up on TikTok, to my knowledge. Now, I've seen Jools Lebron come on social media now before this most recent thing that everybody's discussing. I want to say a few months back or last year. I don't know. At some point in time in my recent memory, she let it be known to the public that that viral moment of very demure,
very mindful
was supposed to be like, you know, the best moment in her life, but it ended up not being that way because I think what she said was the fame and the attention all happening suddenly.
When all of a sudden,
new money
and whatnot ended up causing her to start doing drugs, and she ended up struggling with drugs and addiction really bad. And yeah, that's the why on why that was a bad period in time for her life.
Anyways,
so that was what I had most recently heard. Until now, she made a 5-minute long TikTok video basically explaining that the result of after battling with addiction, it really like up her teeth really bad.
Through addiction, my teeth are severely destroyed.
To the point where it's not just like a what they look like thing, that she's in constant physical pain with her teeth, and that she had some kind of brand deal or some kind of deal with a dentist where they were gonna, you know, completely remove all her teeth and give her, you know, a whole new set of implants, but then something fell through with the deal.
4 or 5 months ago, I had a deal with a dentist, and he was going to completely take out all my teeth and give me a brand new set of teeth. The deal ended up falling through.
And now she would like to get it done, but she doesn't have the money for it right now. And she said that she's starting to get into streaming and starting to make, you know, money again, but it's going to be a few months before that's stable enough that, you know, she could afford the dental procedure.
I'm streaming every day and it's becoming very successful. I've gained a good amount of followers over just a matter of weeks. But I know that it's gonna be a few months until that's stable.
And she said she can't get a regular job. She'd like to, you know, get a 9-to-5, but that's not really feasible, at least not in terms of her being able to get the procedure right now.
I would love to go get a regular job. Girl, don't get me wrong, but even then, I don't think that that's going to help my situation.
She'd really like to get it now because her teeth are in pain, right? It's not just a matter of a cosmetic thing, an aesthetic thing. It's that she's like physically in pain. She's like, there are 2 holes in the side of her mouth and her teeth. It hurts to drink water, and it's this constant pain, and it's hard to, you know, make content and be an influencer and do all the things she needs to do when she's in constant physical pain from her teeth.
I can't like go on like this. Like every day it hurts. It hurts to drink water. Like I have a hole on each side of the upper side of my teeth, and it hurts. All my teeth are moving and they hurt all the time. And I'm just tired of being in pain.
She expressed that she was really, you know, embarrassed and hated having to come to the internet to say she has a GoFundMe to ask people to give her the money for her to be able to afford her dental procedure. But that's where she feels like she's at because she's in so much pain.
My teeth are falling out of my head and I need your help. I'm very uncomfortable making this video because this is a video I thought I'd never have to make. I don't want to ask my community for help, but I feel like I have no other choice at this point.
Now, she puts that out to the internet, and the internet does what the internet does. So immediately everybody is like, let me figure out what everybody say. Let me just tell y'all, I guess, all my thoughts. They're nuanced, and I guess I want to be clear. I don't think there's anything wrong, like morally wrong or unacceptable or egregious about asking people for money. Like, you know what I mean? Or asking your audience for money. Like at the end of the day, if they want to give it, they'll give it. If they don't, they won't. And when I say I don't think there's anything morally wrong, I mean like in the sense that I don't think there's an objective reason for me to kick somebody's back in. They need a dental procedure, they're in pain, they don't have the money, and so they're turning to their audience and what they feel like is their moment of desperation. They're asking their audience, and at the end of the day, people can either be sympathetic with it and give money or not sympathetic with it and don't.
I don't care.
So I don't think they're harming anybody by asking for money, and thus because I don't think she's harming anybody, I don't think there's a reason to carry on bad.
Ooh, no one was hurt.
Now, I'll give y'all what I think about it generally as a creator, I guess, like think about inherently like the particulars of the request and whatnot. And I want to be clear that I'm talking from my perspective, which is as a creator who has my own audience and what my own thoughts and practices are as far as asking audiences for money. So I want to be clear that I'm expressing my own personal point of view on how I would move and not necessarily trying to chastise or condemn or criticize this woman because of how she has, chosen to pursue her.
That's my opinion!
Whatever. That's what I'm going to say. I think this is what I see as a creator. The way that you make money, you're making money from your audience watching what you make. Actually, I think this is really important. I think we need to make these distinctions because nobody does. There's a difference between an influencer and a creator and somebody with a platform. You can be a person with all three. You can be all three. You can be 2 out of the 3. You could be, you know what I mean? But you don't have to be. You could be one thing. And sometimes people equate, not sometimes, most times, people equate all these things, right? So it's like anybody who has a platform, people call a creator when they're not. And anybody who is an influencer, people automatically call a creator when they may not be, right? Whereas there are lots of creators who are not influencers, right? I think that's an important distinction because
you are not that kind of girl.
that plays a big role in how you go about engaging your audience and monetizing your relationship with your audience. And I'll explain what I mean. I am a creator. I have a platform. I'm not an influencer. I've had a platform since 2020, but I wasn't always a creator. I didn't become a creator. I had a platform. I didn't become a creator until like 2023 when I started making media on YouTube. I think those are important distinctions because I think it has a big deal on how you make your money. The way you make money, and the way I see like my role and how this works as a business is I give y'all something that you genuinely want to watch, and that's how I will make money, by this performing well, you supporting this, you watching this because you like it. If I need money, the way I see business and work and how I operate and how I run my business and my platforms and Illuminati and all my channels is if I want to make money, if there are things happening in my life, if I need to make more money, I do more work. I make more things that I think will perform well, right? So it's like, if I fell on hard times tomorrow, y'all would get you a 3-hour How I Met Your Mother magnum opus, bitch. Like, that would be how I would make the money. I would not come and ask you because I don't think that is the role for me personally. It's not y'all's job to just give me money because you like me.
Love me.
Because you want to support me, like arbitrarily. I'm not an influencer or a person who just wants you to like buy into me. This is a transaction. How it works is y'all as consumers, like, I'm supposed to do my job of giving you content good enough that you like enough and want enough to support me, and that's how I will make the money. I can understand why people would be off-put and turned off by the idea that you tell them, like, because you are experiencing something, because you want a dental procedure or anything, because there's anything that you want to do that you cannot yet do. It would take you, by Jools' own admission, it's going to take a few months for streaming to, be profitable and stable and for how to be able to afford this and do this. Because there's something you want to do and you can't do it right now. The idea that your audience, you should just give you the money, not because you have given them something, but because you're like playing on their emotions. I understand why that's a problem. I see this honestly often. I see like creators all the time will like make videos and requests. I see it all the time, all over YouTube and stuff, saying, hey, I'm going through this. I feel this way. I'm blah, 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 XYZ, da, da, da. So like, just give me money.
Send it to me, Rachel.
For me to like, and personally, that doesn't read to me. I'm not judging anybody or condemning anybody or kicking anybody's back in for trying to get help and doing whatever they do and doing the way. Listen, different strokes for different folks. Just because I wouldn't operate a particular kind of way, don't mean that I'm judging anybody else who does. But in my mind, that fundamentally misunderstands what the relationship is here. I'll see sometimes, like I seen a creator once, make a video that was like, hey, I'm going through all this, like, I'm not feeling up to making videos and stuff like that, which means like, because I'm not feeling up to making videos and I'm not making videos, I'm not making money, and thus I'm having a hard time paying my bills. I would like for y'all to donate me the money so that I can pay my bills, and then when my bills are paid and I'm feeling up to it, then I'll make all this like good content. And it's like, that's not how it works.
No.
Your audience are people who go out and they work to make their money and pay for their things or whatever have you. And like, you're supposed to work and make, you know what I mean? Like, personally, that's how I see it. Like, to me, I understand that there are stringent circumstances. So I say, as a gal, I have a impacted wisdom tooth that's inoperable. Like I got Eric put the x-ray up on the screen. Like, the shit is huge, and they will not, none of the experts, they will not touch that bitch because they don't think they can remove that without up like my nerves and shit, and then possibly like causing my face to be paralyzed on one side and shit. The point is, I have these horribly impacted wisdom teeth that just every so often just randomly start hurting like a mother bitch. And when that happens, I felt for Jools watching the video and seeing her like cry and say like how bad it hurts. Cause I know what that's like. I know when you're in a physical kind of pain that hurts so much, it just makes you feel like, really make you feel, desperate and down and out. I get that. And I'm sympathetic to that. And so I ultimately don't think they did anything wrong to ask people. I didn't think it was necessary that because, people have backlash and a problem, whatever, that they had to like end their GoFundMe and donate the money, because at the end of the day, they were transparent. They told their audience exactly what it was, and people had the ability to say yes or no. You know what I mean? Give the money. The people who gave the money and donated the money heard Jools and understood what she was saying and felt compassionate and wanted to give the money. So I don't see why she should have to refund the money just because people are having all this backlash. But I do understand generally, like, at the end of the day, it's like, it's not your audience's job to make sure you have everything you need, especially when they don't, There's a lot of different levels to this. Let me put it to y'all. Let me try and zoom out in a bunch of different directions. On one hand, I think it's important for people to understand that all creators are not made equal in terms of like audiences, monetization, what is their financial reality. People have this idea that because people have a lot of followers, they have a lot of money, and that is not true. That is often not the case, and especially when it comes to places like TikTok. Influencers are in a precarious position because, like I said, the position that Jools is in is like, okay, TikTok, which I don't pay them like shit in and of itself.
$19 Fortnite card. Who wants it?
And the kind of media that you're making over there, like I said, there's a difference between kind of having a platform and being an influencer versus being a creator. If I needed money, I have my channels and my outlets where there's particular kinds of media that I create that my audiences want. And I know that there's certain kind of media they really want and different kinds of things that I could make and do, you know what I mean, to earn that money, versus somebody like Jools is an influencer who, that depends what the algorithm doing, whether how you feel about them, how personally invested you're in them. It's not the same kind of relationship of creating media, like a direct avenue for which making money. It depends on brands wanting to invest in you, deals, people being invested in your personality and all this and the next thing. And so it puts you in a different position. So on one hand, I think it's important to understand that, because so often people have a really negative, like nasty attitude about creators and when it comes to money and stuff, because they perceive them as making a shit ton of money for nothing. There's this whole idea too that like everybody that is making money on the internet, it is just easy money. Listen, every time my mother-in-law is a running joke in our house that my mother-in-law always referring to like my whole business and career as a side hustle all the time. Don't matter how much you can see the infrastructure, what they're doing, a side hustle every time. There is this idea that everybody online is easy money. Oh, everybody just doing the bare minimum. And a lot of creators play into it because it helps feed a certain kind of parasocial relationship. I don't like this for a number of different reasons. For example, let me tell you what I mean. You'll be on YouTube and you'll be watching some YouTube creator that has millions of, oh my God, the YouTube white boys that like talk about fun, easy nonsense or whatever, just like talking about other creators and that kind of shit. They love to have millions of followers, millions of subscribers, regularly get millions of views and talk to the audience as though they're one of them. They'll do this thing where they talk about creators who also have millions of like subscribers and stuff, and they'll talk about those creators like they're big.
I'm just a little guy.
And talk about themselves like they're a little guy, like they'll be like you and me, and like trying to relate to the audience. And so the audience, they do this thing, they'll intentionally like, vilify other creators and talk about those other creators like they rich and they're big.
I think you're ugly, I think you're fat, I think you're stupid.
At their millions, but not their millions. They'll talk about those creators like they don't appreciate having the easiest job ever. They play into this idea that it's really easy what we do. Like any creator is just, oh, you just yapping, it's just this, it's just that. They do that to seem more relatable to their audience, which is like, it's dishonest. It ends up cutting both ways, because what happens is you train your audience to believe that you don't really do shit. You don't have a skill set. You're only there, and what's happening is all just a matter of their investment, their personal investment in you, them personally liking you. And it fuels a kind of animosity and a resentment because they don't believe that you're actually like working hard or like earning this or anything. They believe that you are only getting this easy money and this big money and doing well or whatever based on their like personal support and liking of you, which makes them like particularly harsh about shit like this, which is honestly why I don't care for creators trying to seem relatable. It's so dishonest to the audience. You're trying to like feed into a parasociality into the audience, you know what I mean, to make them think like you and them or whatever are one in a way that is just so disingenuous and doesn't even help you. I really don't like the disingenuousness of well-to-do creators, like rich ass successful creators. I want y'all to know all all them white boys that be talking to you and trying to like create the feeling for you, like they just in their little room and they're just like you and they're just doing their little commentary and they're so glad for their easy little job and you see them getting millions of views and millions of subscribers, them are making tens of thousands of dollars. Don't let them talk to you and convince you that you and them are the same. I cannot stand that nonsense. I think it's important to not feed into that as a creator because it also like, listen, let me put it to y'all this way. There are a million creators doing way, way better than me. Like, get into the mother bag. Right? But I also know, by comparison to your average person in America, and right now in this economy, I know I'm getting to the mother bag. So I am not going to sit up, and not only am I not going to like try to make money by feeding into this idea, like by disingenuously trying to convince you that me and you have the same economic reality and blah, 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 whatever, and all of this. Like, not only am I not gonna do that, but even if I was like, let me put it to you this way. As somebody who used to be very broke, like when I tell y'all broke, like broke as in law school and as a public defender, so mother broke. Like,
Give me your fucking money!
I know what it really looked. I remember, okay, being broke. Like I remember really being broke. And I remember truly having financial stress, like financial hardship, you know? Even what are my problems? You know what I mean? Even though what is the stress? Like everybody has stress at every economic level, at whatever like level they living at and whatever. They all have their problems, but I'm aware enough. I remember enough what the reality was for me as a when I was broke in school, when I was broke as a public defender. I remember what that economic reality looked like enough to know better than to get on the internet talking to the audience like, hey, there's some expensive shit I want to do for me, but I can't get it done tomorrow. It'll take me a few months. You know what I mean? Baby, the average person, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. I understand. You know what I mean? I understand. Like, I'm sympathetic. I get it. It's important for creators to remember that even if, I'm putting it to you this way, I guess this is a long-winded way of me saying is, I'm not judging Jools at all. You know, I hear her on like, oh, what was supposed to be a really lucrative moment, her going viral over very demure and making all this money and getting all these brand deals, ended up going bad because she ended up struggling with fame, struggling with drugs, blowing through the money, XYZ. I'm not judging at all. I know what the experience is of going from having not making money like that, being broke, or suddenly, you know, content creation or having a platform or whatever, you know, being an influencer, whatever it is, that's a particular, you know, journey and career path, starts making money and you not being used to having all that money and letting that money slip through your fingers and XYZ. I just think that, like I said from the beginning, I don't think there's anything wrong with her asking for the money if people want to give the money and that's what you want to do. Personally, that's not something I would do because of what I'm expressing to y'all. That's why I think it got the backlash it got, and she ended up having to take down the GoFundMe and, you know, refund all the money. And I think her having to do that is not surprising to me because I would not have gone to the internet with these things based on what I've told y'all thus far. I think it's incumbent on you as you have to recognize that your situation, it is not particularly relatable and or as sympathetic as you might think it is to your average bear, because your average person have all kind of problems. They tooth hurting too. They wish they could go to the dentist too. They wish they could do all these things that they cannot do. Like there's a big economic difference from telling hey, I have this big expensive thing I want to, you know, do. It's a big difference from being in the kind of position of privilege where you even have the ability to get sponsors, a dentist to cover it for you, and that falls through, or that you might have to wait a few months to have the money for it. That is far and above those problems. That's far and above what your average person is dealing with. And again, I'm saying that I personally, individually, subjectively, I am sympathetic to Jools, like truly sympathetic. I understand exactly what that feel like, dental pain, XYZ on the day-to-day. I just think we have to remember as creators and people who are in a more privileged position than your average person in society that yes, you have these hardships, you have these trials and tribulations, but other motherfuckers have them same kinds of trials and tribulations that despite the fact that they feel in real pain and they're everyday hard, they don't have the ability to just get deals or go ask their audience for money and all this and the next thing. So they're not going to be, you know, appreciative and receptive to that. And, you know, with good reason. Like I say, I think the way that you get money as a person whose job is public facing, that you're supposed to provide a service, a good, whatever it is, be it your personality or actual media you create, if you are supposed to provide something to the audience in order to reap monetary benefits, that's what you need to do. You have to provide them something. That is the consumer relationship. They're not your personal friends or your family or your community or your tribe that should have to, like, you know, pour into you or pick you up when you down because whatever the Like, that's just not what the audience, to me, that's not what it's supposed to be. I think that that is like, there's an exploitativeness to that relationship that I think it is in our best interest not to exploit. Because like the problem with feeding into like a certain kind of parasociality, which is what you're feeding into when you expect your audience to care about what you're going through in your life and fund it and help you just because they feel for you. The flip side of that is the kind of scrutiny that you're gonna receive, and the kind of scrutiny and expectation that you're gonna receive that you're not gonna like. So I guess those are all my long-winded thoughts about that. And I don't know how I got through this entire analysis and discussion without remembering to discuss a very important analysis. Jools Lebron is a trans woman. This is a trans woman with a public platform and a very public battle with addiction. So obviously she is going to have unique challenges in finding a 9-to-5. So I think that's also relevant in this entire discussion that people are having about her just getting a 9-to-5 and whatever. And in mentioning that, I should also mention that obviously the fact that she is a trans woman contributes significantly to why her request even ignited so much backlash and why so many people are taking this opportunity to be as transphobic as and to misgender her and say a whole bunch of other shit that don't have nothing to do with the price of tea in China. Y'all know your girl has merch, right? That's right. The Illuminativerse has merch so you can rep your favorite channel. Whether you're an Illuminati pop girl like myself, an Olay and chill enthusiast like my baby sister, an Olay and friends stan like all my friends, somebody who likes to scream with me on Illuminati Bites, or somebody who locks in for a 2-hour Illuminati production, we've got something for you. We've got mugs, shirts, and hats. It's all very cute because Cartoon Me is adorable. Shout out to Toonrific Tariq for being the man behind her. And to my pop watchers in particular, please know that you wore me down and I finally gave y'all the Shoot Me With Your Big Gun merch that y'all kept begging for. Look how cute your Shoot Me With Your Big Gun merch is. Oh my God, to be an Illuminati pop girly. But I genuinely love my merch, not just because it's mine, but because I ordered everything myself before showing it to y'all so I could make sure the quality was good, because I could not have y'all spending y'all hard-earned money on garbage, which is why I am pleased to report that I have a cupboard full of the most beautiful glossy mugs and a drawer full of the comfiest Illuminati shirts. So if you've ever wanted to support the channel or rep your favorite corner of the Illuminativerse, or just walk around with my cartoon face on your chest like a true fan, check out the merch store linked in the description below, or go to illuminati-shop.fourthwall.com to make sure you get your Illuminati merch. Again, that's illuminati-shop.fourthwall.com, or click the link in the description below, or use the QR code on screen to run me your money today. If you enjoyed the video you just watched, congratulations! You've officially wandered into the Illuminativerse. Now, before you get overwhelmed, let me explain where exactly you've landed, because apparently one YouTube channel was not enough for me. If you're looking for my biggest productions, the kinds of videos that require me to disappear into a cave for 6 weeks and emerge with an existential crisis, subscribe to Illuminati, my flagship channel, where you'll find my magnum opuses like If Pretty is a Privilege, Ugly is a Curse, How This Didn't Age Well Destroyed Media Literacy, How Men Become Aziz Ansari, Why Serial Killers Aren't Monsters, and so much more. If you're here because you love television, movies, and hearing me explain why everybody misunderstood your favorite character, subscribe to Illuminati Pop, my TV and film essay channel. That's where you'll find fun deep dives on How I Met Your Mother, Sex and the City, Desperate Housewives, You, Euphoria, Insecure, Girlfriends, and more. And if you'd like to watch my videos uncensored, get early access, and support the channel directly, just join the Illuminati Pop Patreon. If you are looking for chaos and a good time, subscribe to Olay and Chill, where I unpack reality TV, TikTok drama, documentaries, chaos and internet, and whatever nonsense the internet has cooked up this week. If you'd like to watch me and some of my favorite Black creators and thinkers come together to discuss the culture, subscribe to Olay and Friends. If you're looking for shorter commentary on whatever the internet is currently spiraling about or whatever's on my mind, subscribe to Illuminati Bites. If you want to watch me and my bitch Kenny JD laugh, overshare, talk a little shit, and unpack the messiness of life, love, and the internet, and whatever foolishness we watching, subscribe to Olay and Kenny. If politics is more your thing and where you know me from, subscribe to Illuminati Politics for my State of the Union like addresses on O Squared. And if music is your thing and you want to hear what I think about the latest albums and what I'm getting into, subscribe to Illuminati Extras. Subscribe to whichever corners of the Illuminativerse speak to you, or subscribe to all of them and become a full-time resident. And while you're at it, you can follow me everywhere: Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Twitter at Illuminati. You can also follow Illuminati Pop and Olay and Chill and Olay and Friends on social media so you never miss a thing. Welcome again to the Illuminativerse. Now go look around a little bit, make yourself at home.